Here with NFL Network analyst and former Ravens scout Daniel Jeremiah. In your last mock draft, you have the Ravens going with Joey Porter Jr. at number 22. My burning question for you there is he still going to be there when the Ravens are on the clock at 22?
I think there's a good chance that he is. You know, going through the process late, you start hearing, okay, some other corners over him potentially. So I think there's a legitimate opportunity that he is there. Really, the only concern really with him is he just didn't take the ball away very much. So he's a little bit tight, didn't really take the ball away as much, and I think that's dinged him a little bit through the process. So I think there's a real possibility he's there.
On your Move the Sticks podcast this week with Bucky Brooks, you guys called this draft an identity draft for the Ravens. You know, with new offensive coordinator Todd Monken, Mike McDonald in his second year. How do you think this new kind of identity schematically could affect the Ravens draft strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think they got to kind of figure out who they are. You know, they've done things a certain way for a long point in time. I think bringing in Odell Beckham signals that maybe there's a change coming with philosophically. Obviously, Greg Roman being gone. So I'm fascinated by them. You know, some years I feel like I got a pretty good pulse on what they're going to do. I have no clue. No clue what they're going to do. So I still look at corner. I think Porter we talked about. I think Banks from Maryland I think are legit, players that would fit their traditional culture, how they play, what they value. But confidence level very low.
Well, you said earlier this offseason to the Lounge podcast, obviously picks, having lots of them is a big part of the Ravens draft identity. And you told our podcast that if EDC only makes 5 picks this year, you're eating a piece of paper. So are you sticking to that? And if so, are you predicting more of a night one blockbuster type situation or more of a trade back, accumulate some picks type deal?
I'm sure he would love to do it night one if he could find a partner. But if he can't there, I'm sure later on. There's just no way. They work too hard on their personnel department, and they've done such a good job over decades of drafting players. It's like, to me, it's like going to Disneyland and only riding 2 rides. Like, no, that's not what they do. They're going to have to get some more picks. And again, hopefully there's some edible paper that exists. I can look into that, but I still think they end up getting some extras.
You talked about corner. Obviously, receiver has been a popular pick for the Ravens. If they don't go either of those positions, what's one prospect you think could kind of fit them at 22?
Well, I mean, I think you could always look in the line of scrimmage, and see, who, if someone were to drift or fall and who they like. I mean, you look at somebody like Darnell Wright from Tennessee, who's big and physical. He kind of fits their style of play and what they do. So you can never rule out the line of scrimmage. Mozzie Smith, they'll know a lot about him coming out of Michigan for obvious reasons. So, there's always a line of scrimmage wild card there.
Perfect. Thanks for the time.
No problem.